Microphone is working. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Dee 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 dee. So we're in the final home stretch of the season. 7 games in today's episode to round off my first season with Halifax Wanderers. And there's a reason I say first season with Halifax Wanderers as opposed to anything else. We're going to have a look into it. We're going to see what happened in my final 7 games, including 2 cup matches against some big opposition. Let's dive into the completing the Pentagon, saving the season, seeing what happens this time around thing. Bit of the sniffles. So here is an overview of the season so far. As you can see, lots of little red dots. We have had losses. We came off the back of last episode with 4 wins out of 5, which I thought was phenomenal. We did really well. Yeah, we did really well in the last 5 games. However, we now go into the stretch, the business end of the season, where 7 games, 5 in the league, 2 in the cup. How did we get on? We started off with a 1-0 loss to Wanderers FC. They have been the bane of my season this year. Once again, Walter Ponce getting the singular goal in the 3rd minute. The match was very much even then throughout, with us having more notable possession, us having more passes completed. We just couldn't quite get the shots on target to get the goals. Walter Ponce got the goal in the 3rd minute. Lots of yellow cards in the second half for us, with Ferrazzo, Campagna, Daniels and Canada getting yellows. Triple L also, however, had a goal disallowed for offside. So let's have a look at the goal from Walter Ponce and then the disallowed goal from Triple L, Luis Laurie Latanzio. So here we go. De Bruyne to Carlos, back to De Bruyne. Flung it through to Ponce. Ponce then just throws it into the back of the net. Let's watch that again, because that went pretty quickly. De Bruyne, Carlos, Ponce, bang, in off the crossbar. Goal. We also want to see the rule out offside goal. All the way back to Fillion. We start again from the back. Karim Sow. Over to Salter. Then to Triple L, who slots it into the bottom right hand corner. However, you could argue that was offside. I don't think you should argue it was offside. I don't think it was offside. All in all, pretty even match, apart from the XG. We were pretty much matching them field to field. Nobody came on, apparently, or didn't at least have a rating. Samuel Salter did come on, Canada did come on, Jurisic did come on, but clearly no ratings. Big Sag. We then have our immortal rivals, Pacific FC, at home, where we won 3-0. 3-1, sorry. We won 3-1. That's the one. Lots of ones. It should have been more, with Canada and Salter getting disallowed goals for offsides. Samuel Yeats did get red carded for a second bookable offence on the 42nd minute. However, they did open the scoring, Pacific, with Ongaro getting a goal in the 3rd. Theo Colom got a goal a minute later. Lorenzo Caligari got a goal a handful of times today. 32 minutes. They did have Salouf come off injured just before half-time, which sort of nicked them a little bit. Canada Salter disallowed goals. Then Triple L got a goal in the 84th minute. A nice, well-rounded win. We had a few things go our way with the red card and the injury to Salouf, don't get me wrong, but my team performed miraculously. Caligari getting an 8.8, Louis Latanzio getting an 8.1, 16 shots, 6 on target, an expected goal ratio of 2.58. We had more possession, we completed more passes. Again, this is just, with this gegenpress, it's just working, and I don't know why it's working, it just is. Let's have a look at some goals going into balls in the back of the nets. Here we go. With the Pacific goal, Azari picking it up. Comes off the post, but Ongaro is there to pick up the rebound. Very nice. Rampersad, Caligari flies it through to Triple L. Nice cross over to Colom with his head into the back of the net. Rampersad to Stolar. Caligari, and then Caligari just decides he's going to have a shot, and it goes in. Job done. Happy days. Caligari through to Theo Colom. Triple L gets there. That's in the back of the net. That's a goal. Let's have a look at the 2 disallowed goals as well. This is Canada's, so Omar finds Trafford, picks it up for Pacific. Adonijah to Dadaluk. Jurisic picks it up, gets us back on the attack. Omar Caligari. It was a rainy day in Halifax. You don't want to go there on a Thursday evening. Canada loses the ball to Young. Stolar picks it back up. It comes back to Caligari, back to Rampasad. It's very tit for tat. And then Jurisic tries to find Canada, doesn't, gets back. Theo Colon, Canada, back in the net. Canada, yeah, clearly offside there. Clearly offside. Samuel Salters was a bit more contested, though, I think, in the 64th minute. So, Anthony Stolar. Nice run. Unchallenged. Rampasad picks it up. Samuel Salter. Goal. Gazdov doesn't get there, but that lovely left-footed strike from Salter kind of shows you that actually, yeah, it may have been offside. It was contentious, but it's a 3-1 win, back to winning ways to end our season, which was quite nice. And again, we sort of powered through this. Yeah, we had a few things go our way, like I say, the injury, the red card, but overall, decent performance. And we carried that on to a 2-2 draw against York United. Oh yes, this was a heartbreaking game, this one, because we should have won it. York were all over us, don't get me wrong. Split possession, passes completed, they beat us on. More expected goals, more shots, less on target, however. They did open the scoring with Aceis de Rosario, scoring in the 13th minute. Theo Colon got a brace in the 32nd and 61st minutes to put us ahead. Should have had a hat-trick with another disallowed goal, but Aceis de Rosario getting a last grasp winner in the 93rd minute. It was horrible. We were so close to winning, so close to getting something, and we just didn't. Let's have a look at the goals. Let's see what happened. Strikers were on form today. Samuel Salter getting assists, Theo Colon getting goals. Can't fault them. Can't fault the team. We just lacked in concentration towards the end there, and we ended up suffering for it. Here we go. Alou on the corner. Villian tries to get it, misses, and it falls to Duasario at the back post. This is where we go ahead. Samuel Salter picking up the ball. Nice little slow cross to Theo Colon. He taps it in for the first goal for Halifax. Karim Sal through to Samuel Salter. Theo Colom through on goal, nobody around him, slots it past Jansopoulos, and yeah, we made it 2-1. And then De Rosario to Bahia, to Alou, comes off the post, and De Rosario's just there, and we lapsed in concentration to fulfill the match win. Let's have a look at the offside goal as well whilst we're here. Again, more tit for tat. Alou to Babui. Karim Sal picks it up. Timoteo gets the ball, comes into the middle, flies it over to Aidan Daniels on the left, crosses it over to Theo Colom. Again, you might think that run, he wasn't offside. And as the home manager, I'm going to say that all my goals weren't offside. But there you go, I might be slightly biased. Then we go into our double header in the Amway Canadian Championship against Toronto FC. Oh yes, the MLS heavyweights. Those that have won the MLS Cup. Those that have gone to the CONCACAF Championship, the Champions League of America, and won it. Those who have gone into World Club Cups against the likes of Liverpool and Real Madrid and Chelsea. We got an injury to Samuel Salter, which put us on the back foot immediately. 14th minute, he got injured. Michael Bradley, yes, once of Leeds fame, getting assists and very much controlling the midfield for Toronto FC this time round. We got hammered, let's be honest. Jonathan Osorio, 31st minute. Lorenzo Insignia getting the 34th minute goal. Bernardeschi getting 42nd, and then Lorenzo Insignia getting the 60th minute goal as well. We didn't perform very well. Caligari had a bad game, one to forget for him. But look, we were going up against a heavyweight team. We are bottom of the league at this point. I don't know what we kind of expected. I expected a bit more of a fight, but I also turned around and said, well, look, what can we do? You know, we are not on form this season. If we were on form, then I may have given us a bit more of a chance, but I sort of wrote us off before the match even started, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the Toronto goals. Here we go. Osorio on the wing to Oro. Michael Bradley nicely through to Osorio. Omar and Sal should have picked him up. Didn't. That's the 1-0. Bernardeschi to Vasquez. Oro. nicely through to Lorenzo Insigne. Osorio again, Petretta crosses it over to Bernardeschi, just fires it through everybody. Again, we're just not picking them up. We weren't covering our grounds. Michael Bradley once again steamrolling in the midfield, flies it through to Insigne, and that was the game. We then welcomed Toronto to Halifax, where we lost 2-0. So it was a 6-0 aggregate loss for Halifax. Only a 2-0 win this time around. Oro getting a goal in at the 7th minute. Jonathan Osorio getting the assist there. Bernardeschi helping Lorenzo Insigne. Oh yes, that Napoli man once again getting a goal in the 59th minute. It was a bit more of a timid affair, this one, restricting a lot of... it could have been more, is what I'm saying. So we didn't do, again, horrendously. It was a different team again. Amla came back into the squad. Geraldo got another start. Mwandwi came on to really try and push the attack, to try and at least get a goal back. That didn't quite happen. Kale Loffrey and Triple L came on as well. Let's have a look at the 2 goals. So we've got a 6-0 aggregate loss. Here we go. Insigne finds Bernardeschi. Osorio to Aura. Aura just on that right-hand side. No one around him. Should have picked him up a little bit more. Bernardeschi running through to Lorenzo Insigne. Pops it in. Makes it 2-0. 6-0 loss on aggregate. We were out of the Amway Canadian Championship in the quarter-finals, however. So, you know, let's take heart. We've been shocking all season in the league. We made it to the quarter-finals. I think that, personally, is an achievement above anything else. We start off our last 2 games with a 4-1 win against Atletico Ottawa. Absolutely stormed them, except in possession. Possession, it was pretty much legible. But 18 shots, 7 on target. We had 12 fouls as well. No yellow cards this time around. It's been quite a thing in our season where we've got picked up a lot of yellow cards. Theo Colom getting the 41st goal. Start again. Theo Colom getting the 40. Still messed it up. Theo Colom getting the 41st minute goal to kick off proceedings. David Norman Jr. getting a goal in the 66th minute, and then we hammered them home for the last 15 minutes. Canada, Massimo Ferran and Timoteo all getting onto the score sheet. A nice 4-1 win against a team that we considered for a while being our nearest opponents in the league until they had a very decent run of form and then shot up the table. Let's have a look at the 5 goals in the 4-1 win. Here we go. Colom through to Daniels. Timoteo, a nice little cross ball from the other side of the field. Colom again, just able to smash it in. Ouimet did not get a chance. Bassett with a corner, and then David Norman Jr. getting a nice header at the near post. Omar plays it from the back. Colom through to Canada. Canada runs through, fires it past Ingham. Job done. 2-1. Timoteo through to Massimo Ferran on the left-hand side, unmarked. Ingham does get a hand to it, but it rebounds back to Ferran. He is just able to slot it in. 3-1 Canada. Massimo Ferran crosses it over to Timoteo at the back post, able to get his head to it for another goal this season. 4-1 win. Very happy, very nice. And then our final match of the season ended up being a 1-1 draw with Vancouver FC. A very tight affair. We drew Vancouver into a lot of fouls, as you can see, with all the yellow cards from Romeo Hundal, Yi, Simmons and Iwasi. Hundal starts off the goal fest that is a 1-1 draw with a goal in the 9th minute. Samuel Salter gets one back in the 61st minute. Thomas Geraldo then gets a yellow card in the 87th. But again, very even draw. We very much tried to dominate them, couldn't break down their defence. With this gegenpress, we are finding ourselves creating a lot more attacking opportunities, which is the change that I wanted to make halfway through the season, and I did. And, you know, judging by the amount of wins that we've got in the back half of the season, it's ended up being much better. Let's have a look at the 2 singular goals in our final match of the season at home against Vancouver. Alrighty then. That guy through to Hundal, unopposed, unchallenged, unmarked, flies it past Fillion. 1-0 to Vancouver. Fernandez on the right hand side to Theo Colom, crosses it over to Samuel Salter. It was a nice goal to end up the season. in 60th minute for Samuel Salter, but a 1-1 draw. And, you know, that's kind of been how the back half of the season's been. We've had a few losses, we've had a few wins, we've got a couple of draws. We've been inconsistent, and it's that inconsistency that I really want to push on. So we look at the league table. Forge, Cavalry, York United and Pacific all get into the playoff places. Vancouver in 5th with 35 points, level with Atletico Ottawa on 35 points in 6th. 7th was Valur in 29th. We ended up in the season with 23 points. We were 6 points off 7th place in the end. Only 2 wins. So a couple of decent results somewhere else. We would have maybe not finished bottom. Our goal difference ended up being -15. That was helped, obviously, by the resounding wins towards the back end of the season, where we absolutely stumped some people. We did have 32 goals scored, 47, however, against, which is a bit frustrating. We lost 17, drew 5, won 6 throughout the 28th game season. Most goals for this season, Forge storming ahead with 54. We came 6th with 32, so we did score more goals than Atletico Ottawa and Valur, which is very good. No corner goals. We were positioned 8th in the end of the season. Best pass completion, we were in 7th place with 71. Again, only just ahead of Valur with 66%. Average attendance, we were 3rd. Our average attendance was 5,267, which is 81% of our capacity. 14 home matches. Interestingly enough, Valur only used 18% of their capacity stadium, with an average attendance of 6,283. So how big is Valur's stadium? The IG Field in Winnipeg, with 33,500 capacity stadium. That's how big it is, compared to the Wanderers grounds, which is 6,500. Excellent. In terms of fouls made, now I did mention this earlier that we did have a lot of yellow cards throughout the season. Fouls made, we were top of that league with 508 fouls made, nearly half again of Pacific made, 370 over the 28 matches, 446 tackles made with a 73% tackling success ratio. Yellow cards, we got 46, again higher than any other team. We did get 1 card, so we weren't top of the red card list. That belongs to Pacific and Valur with 2 each. But yeah, look, we were a very hard tackling team this season. I'm not entirely sure as to why. It was very interesting. And if we look at all these team stats, what else did we win? Games without losing, 4 games. We came top of that league. 1 in a row, 0. Scored in a row, 4. So winning without or games without losing, we topped that league. Games without winning, however, we didn't top that league, which is interesting considering Valur won that with 6 games without winning. We did go on a bit of a run of losses. So I'm not entirely sure where that stats come into play, but that's interesting. Expected goals underperformance. We were underperforming by 3.17 with 32 goals. Our expected goals was supposed to be 35.7. Forge, however, overperformed by 16.62 goals, expected goals. So that's interesting to know. Other stats, chances created. We created more chances than any other team in the league. We just could not finish for the life of us with 95 chances created. Passes completed 9,280, so we were kind of towards the lower end of that with an average possession of 45%. Again, sort of the middle of the park there. Where else do we get? High intensity sprints, 4,242, which is good, I suppose. We're a hard-working team. Expected goals against, 48.81, higher than everybody else, considering we're bottom of the league. That makes sense. Looked at the fouls, interceptions, 895. We intercepted more than any other team. Valur next in line with 839 interceptions. Conceded from corners, we conceded 6 from corners. Direct free kicks, we conceded 3. Indirect 1. So okay. Average attendance we've looked at as well. So yeah, the stats generally show that this season wasn't amazing. Just, it is what it is. We do have obviously the playoffs with Pacific going against Forge and York United going against Cavalry, so we'll have a look how they get on. However, I said earlier in the video how everything was in my first season. The reason for this is because Derek Martin, the chairman, has offered me the chance to discuss the long-term vision of the board to outline the initial expectations for both the remainder of this season and the years ahead. Interesting. This suggests to me that I'm not losing my job if I'm planning for next season. And then I'll try and skip forward to the actual end of the season and see who actually wins the Canadian Premier League. But let's do this now. Let's have a look at the board meeting. They want to grow the club's reputation, maximum 1-year contracts for players over the age of 32. We want to become an established Premier League team and then continue to do so over the next 5 years. So let's accept that current vision. And let's go into our team meeting. I think now would be a good time to let the players know what you plan to achieve next season. So let's discuss. Okay, we have 4 options. I appreciate all your hard work this season. When you come back from breaks, we're going to get down to work to try and make the playoffs. I appreciate all your hard work this season. When you come back from your breaks, we'll be getting down to business to earn a mid-table finish. Looking at next season, I'm optimistic we can give a really good account of ourselves and show the club in a positive light. I want to take a few moments to mention that over the off-season, we'll be forced to make some changes to the squad to help turn a profit. That's not an issue. And I want to thank you for all your efforts this season. I also want you to know when you return from pre-season, our collective efforts will be going towards take whatever it takes to boost the club's profile on and off the pitch. I think I'm going to go with the mid-table finish. Everybody's satisfied and pleased. It's green across the board. That's a target we can all get behind. Thank you, Lorenzo Caligari. I'm going to outstretch arms and say that's exactly the sort of reaction I was after. I want you to enjoy all your breaks. We can discuss promises when you're back next season. I'm happy with that being agreed. And off they go for their holiday. Everybody's morale is now a little bit more up, which is good. Dressing room atmosphere is also looking good. It's been a tough season. It has indeed been a tough season. We also, I forgot to mention, have some inductees into our team in the form of these guys. Oh yeah, we have some youth players coming in. We have Kylian Thaibo, who is a midfielder. We have Momir Markovic, who's a midfielder. We have Omer Kadim, who's a right defender. We have Laszlo Gadios, who is a right attacking midfielder. Danny Knight comes in as a youth goalkeeper. Joe Smith as a centre-back. John Schofield as a striker. And Otto Salonen as a right midfielder as well. So we've boosted our team with these young players. We do also currently have Joseph Brennan, David DiMagli, Jay Bradbury, Sean Gardner, Damien Duda, Gianpaolo Solito, Rob Pitcher and Javier Bueno on our team as well. They're currently free agents because I've decided not to sign them because I'll be honest, their potentials are not that brilliant. Alright, so quick update on the Canadian Premier League playoffs. Pacific drew 0-0 with Forge, which is interesting considering Forge were storming ahead throughout the entire season. York United, however, thrashed Cavalry 5-0. Bababui, or Babui even. Alou, Gagnon Lapere and Verhoeven getting an own goal to make the 5 goals. Babui getting 2 goals. Interesting. Very convincing knockout of Cavalry. Pacific obviously drawing with Forge. Interesting. Alrighty then, Canadian Premier League playoffs, second legs. Cavalry were knocked out. They drew 0-0 with York United. They won 5-0 on aggregate. Pacific beat the league leaders Forge 1-0 in extra time, with Daniels getting a goal in the 108th minute. Meaning the final will be York United FC against Pacific FC, our mortal rivals, to determine who wins the Canadian Premier League. I've also just noticed we have Theo Colom getting the second most goals in the season with 11. Walter Pons getting 15, top of that league. Hamilton and Choinier for Forge coming third. Says Divisario with 9. Our next player was Triple L Louis Laurie Latanzio with 6 in joint 13th place. So that's good news. We have João Morelli, who had his loan extended for a month, coming back from YPI. 14 appearances, 1 goal, an average rating of 6.45. He has interest in extension, however, we don't have the option. There's no valid transfer window for João Morelli to come back from loan before his contract expires, of which it does expire on the 11th of November. He has absolutely no interest in signing a new contract, and so therefore I don't think I'm going to get any money for him. How much money would I get for him? Currently, £2,000. I think I might just release him on a free. On our potential fine for playing under 21 domestic players this season, We have to play a combined total of 2,000 minutes in the 28 matches played. We played 2,160 minutes of the 28 matches played. We've not got any more matches, so I think we're fine for that. I think we're fine. Monthly performance review from the board is a C+. Very disappointed about the heavy 6-0 Amway Canadian Championship quarterfinal second leg aggregate loss against Toronto FC. However, very impressed with the 4-1 Canadian Premier League dismantling of Atletico Ottawa. Pleased with the pressing on display while using the gegenpress style, and pleased with my level of support with the squad. Tactics have been better, squad is better, transfers are all still C. Supporters, however, are not a fan of how the players are playing. They're a C-. Tactics are a B, transfers are a C+, everything else is just a C. They're extremely disappointed about the 6-0 aggregate loss against Toronto. Very disappointed with Triple L's recent performances and Karim Sal's. Pleased with Theo Colom's recent performances. Also pleased with the pressing on display while using gegenpress. And also very impressed with the 4-1 dismantling again of Atletico Ottawa. And our squad dynamics are pretty good. Our team leaders are now Aidan Daniels and Andre Rampersad. Jan Fillion, Timoteo, Salter and Omar are the highly influential ones. Influential ones are Caligari, Theo Colom, Jake Ruby, Massimo Ferran, Ferrazzo, Sao, Fernandez, Campagna, CJ Smith and Triple L, and then 26 other players. Fantastic. Dressing room atmosphere is average. Managerial support is very good. So I've managed to pull that around in the last few months of the season. And in the Amway Canadian Championship, CF Montreal against Toronto FC, I did call it. I called it as the MLS final. First leg, Montreal are at home. Let's see how that goes. It's a 1-1 draw. Jimenez getting a goal in the 17th minute. Toy got a comeback, an equaliser for Montreal in the 35th minute as well. The playoff final has happened, and York United are the Canadian Premier League champions for this season, beating Pacific FC 4-1 with goals from Baya, Faye, Baboui and Baboui in the 14th, 25th, 42nd and 90th minute. Josh Hurd got a goal back for Pacific in the 63rd minute. Here is the team lineup for Pacific FC. 6s all around. York United, however, all in the purple, all in the 9s and the 7s and the 8s. Cés de Rosario, however, did not have a great game, so I can take heart in that. But 4-1 winners, York United. They are the Canadian Premier League champions for this season. So that will do it from here. That's the end of my first season with Halifax Wanderers. Would I keep my job? Who knows? It might come to the pre-season and I might be out on my ear. Who knows? But thank you ever so much for watching. If you did like this video, if you like this little series that we've done so far, give it a little bit of a thumbs up on the videos. Obviously, you can go back and watch all of the episodes in the Football Manager playlist, so you can enjoy all of those and see how we got on throughout the season. This has been a bit of a bumper episode to round off my season, so thanks for watching. Give the channel a subscribe if you haven't already. It will really help me out, and you can catch me on Twitch on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 PM GMT, BST, whatever we're in now, and Saturdays for where we play community games with friends from 7:30 GMT, BST, whatever it is, onwards on Saturdays. Thank you ever so much for watching. I'm going to go and finish off the season, get to pre-season, see what we can do, and I'll catch you for the 2024 season of Halifax Wanderers FC in the next video. Thank you very much, take care, and good night.